Thank you very much, General Smith. Secretary Del Toro, the comments both Senator Wicker and I made indicate that the shipbuilding program in the Navy is in disarray. The Columbia class, which is the most critical platform that the Navy and perhaps the nation is trying to build, is behind schedule, and it might fall further behind. It puts extraordinary pressure on the Virginia-class submarine construction. They're already behind, 1.2 ships versus 2 ships a year. You've responded by sending up a request for 1 Virginia this year and a significant investment in the defense industrial base. The first question I have, though, is there seems to be management problems in all these programs. Some of it is the changing requirements on the ships so that the contractor is suddenly back to square one in some cases. Others is the inability of subcontractors to produce, et cetera. And I must say that one of the jobs that you have, and it's a tough job, is to find out who's responsible and to take directed action to correct it. So could you tell us what you're doing to ensure accountability in the programs to get them back on track?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you suggest, there are a lot of challenges in the shipbuilding industry, and they actually date back to the 1980s when we gave up on commercial shipbuilding in this country and lost so much of the talent in the shipbuilding industry. That was compounded tremendously so by COVID and the enormous challenges that we have with regards to blue-collar labor in this workforce that actually impacts across all programs, because the industry and even the Navy and its public shipyards just simply don't have the people that are necessary to work in our shipyards. That's sort of the base denominator of it all. But the recent problems that we've actually seen here, and I don't agree with the characterization that this is all about management, by no means of the imagination. These are difficult challenges that are presented to the Navy and as well the shipbuilding industry that we have to deal with clear on. So the delay of major components for the construction of Virginia-class as well as the Eisenhower is the major reason for the delays in these programs. So on the Eisenhower, for example, you have Northrop Grumman that's building the main reduction gear when General Electric used to do that, and they are behind in delivering the main reduction gear, in addition to the high pressure and the low pressure turbines to that carrier, which is why it's behind. In the case of the Virginia-class submarines, it's the turbine generators that are being delivered by Northrop Grumman that are significantly behind, in addition to the quality assurance challenges that have been presented down in Norfolk Naval Shipyard associated with the nose cones of those submarines that you're very well familiar with as well. That has led to significant delays such that the New Jersey that was just delivered a couple of weeks ago was delivered 3 years late. Now, some of this isn't just maintenance problems. It's, again, attributed to blue-collar workforce challenges that we're having. The greening of the workforce. You could argue that years ago, as you have stated before in other testimony, we had 50-year-old supervisors working with 50-year-old naval engineers in the Navy. Today, it's 35-year-olds working with each other, right? That has led to significant challenges with regards to quality assurance. Now, in the case of the frigate, quite frankly, it's a recruiting and a retention problem in Wisconsin. So what we're trying to actually do is many things. One, $3.9 billion in the submarine industrial base in fiscal year 25, followed by $11 billion of investment over the rest of the fit-up. $750 million investment in the surface industrial base. Just in Fincantieri alone, we provided $100 million of resources to the shipyards so they can provide $5,000 bonuses to their shipyard workers for the first year if they stay in place, and another $5,000 if they stay in place throughout the construction of the ship itself. So we're doing everything that we possibly can to actually help industry and work with industry to get there. Industry also needs to do its part. We have too many stock buyback plans that, as we're investing $14 billion into industry, we've got billions of dollars that are going out the other side of the door into stockholders. So they got to focus more on the customer than just the stockholders as well, too.
I concur with your final comment. We're looking at companies that are not performing but are still being rewarded. And as you point out, the contraction of our defense industrial base and shipbuilding is such that competition is not really there as it was perhaps 20 or 30 years ago. The the need is great, and I think we have to put more effort behind it. There's also, and my time is expiring, there's a capacity issue. I know you have a shipyard infrastructure optimization program, $25 billion over 25 years, so that's $1 billion a year. I think we have to come to a real question of, do we have enough shipyards to function, particularly in this environment where China has 16 major premier shipyards. And I've taken too much time. Let me recognize Senator Wicker.
I'm tempted to ask that you be given another 5 minutes, Mr. Chairman, but I won't do that. Let me ask General Smith, and